In The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren fell to Rey on Starkiller Base, after Kylo's offer to train her reminds Rey to call on the Force. This is one of the more controversial moments in the sequel trilogy, and probably the most bothersome scene of The Force Awakens for some fans, because at the time, an untrained scavenger defeating a highly skilled and well-trained warrior seemed a bit ridiculous. So the question here is, why exactly did Kylo lose this battle? And I'm assuming a large majority of you already know the answer to this question, but the Rise of Skywalker novel has recently confirmed what many of us had already assumed. Now, there are actually two reasons for Kylo's loss. The first one, which is not mentioned in this book, is that he was emotionally distraught over the fact that he had just killed his own father. This act that Snoke and Palpatine had deceived him to believe would free him of his pain and push him one step closer to becoming what he was meant to be actually increased his inner turmoil. Kylo's regret immediately after killing Han Solo is very obvious when you watch that scene. And in the following two movies, Rey continually uses Kylo's pain from that moment to expose his inner conflict. And Snoke also lectures Kylo on his compassion, revealing that the deed split his spirit to the bone. That act didn't just throw Kylo off his game, or leave him questioning his purpose. He was completely and totally devastated by what he had done. And that stress, combined with the second point that I am about to cover, is what allowed Rey to emerge victorious on that day. So before this battle between Rey and Kylo begins, we see him continually pound on his torso, where he had just been shot by Chewbacca. That wound is actually bringing him quite a lot of physical pain, and creating yet another distraction for him as he fights and favors that area. In the Rise of Skywalker novel, there is actually a really interesting and emotional scene that I wish we had gotten to see in the movie, where Kylo interrogates Chewie after he was captured by the Knights of Ren on Pasaana. There's a part where Kylo enters Chewie's mind and sees images from the past of him and the Wookiee playing together and practicing how to use a blaster, and there's some other really cool stuff too. But the part I am interested in for this video takes place right when Kylo enters the interrogation room, so I'll pick up right where that scene begins. It was a quick shuttle trip back to the command ship, and it hadn't given Kylo Ren nearly enough time to prepare. He stopped before the door of Interrogation 6, rallying his thoughts. He had all the power, he reminded himself. The Wookiee was his past. He meant nothing to him. Kylo opened the door. Chewbacca was shackled to the wall. He looked up at Ren, fury in his eyes. "I have not forgotten that you shot me," Kylo said. That wound had resulted in a defeat at Rey's hands. Had he been in top fighting form, the scavenger never would have gotten the best of him. So those lines just confirm what many of us had already assumed, but it could also provide new insight for many people. Because it is actually something that is easy to forget as you get caught up in the fight during the movie, especially for someone who may have only seen the film once or twice. The combination of the conflict he felt from killing his father, and the reaction he felt from his mother, along with the physical and mental limitations of his wound, are what allowed Rey to defeat Kylo Ren in this duel. As I've said, I know that most of this is old news, and something most people were already well aware of, but I thought it would be interesting to share now that the Rise of Skywalker novel has provided this further confirmation. But anyways guys, I hope you found some insight in this video and enjoyed the information I have presented. If you guys could remember to leave a like on this video to support the channel, I really would appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day, and may the Force be with you, always.